And rich people are getting richer. That's how it works. And Wolfgang Umvogel, he wanted to do something against that. And they arrested him. And in 2 weeks' time only, they didn't say anybody who was here. Not his government, the Austrian government, not the embassy, not his parents. And he was suicided in here within 2 weeks only. And the type of torture what happens here is called O2T, O2 for oxygen and T for torture. And they put people in cells where there's not enough oxygen. And because of the lack of oxygen there will be a hypoxia, which is a lack of oxygen in the human tissue. So the subject is being tortured in every cell of his body, you see. And because of that there will be a glycolysis, which is the organism starts burning up its own sugars.
Lack of oxygen is a torture technique, and it causes mental and physical shock symptoms in the victim. Okay, so if you breathe nanoparticles of aluminum oxide all day that dehydrates your tissues, it reduces your lungs' ability to intake the oxygen you breathe, thereby putting you in a state of oxygen deprivation, which makes you more susceptible to the lactic acid, will result in joint and tissue pain, bones and joints. But aside from that, psychologically, in a state of shock, mild shock, without realizing it, that's just one of the things from the chemtrails. It's based on torture techniques. Isn't it lovely? Let's see what Mr. Pharaoh Show has to say in the rest of this here. And I had to record this little part.
There will be lactic acid will be produced. People get very depressive, and this is the same thing happening with the famous waterboarding. A guy gets dipped underwater, or with
the first thing that nanoparticles, actually it doesn't have to be nanoparticles, the first thing that aluminum in your body affects is your mind. And probably with mercury and barium as well. But before anything physical really happens, other than maybe watery eyes and runny nose like I get, once it's in your bloodstream, it starts to cause psychological anxiety, depression, and if your body doesn't filter it well, it will quickly move to dysphoria and all kinds of bad mental, neurological / emotional problems. That's the first thing that happens. That's before your glands fail. That's before your lungs start to have problems with the COPD and things of that. It's psychological. It's psychological warfare on one level and then physical on the next. And your doctor's not telling you, and he knows damn good and well. But that little Carduceus that he swore to, he may as well have taken a blood oath. Oops.
Which is the organism starts burning up its own sugars, and because of that there will be lactic acid will be produced. People get very depressive, and this is the same thing happening with the famous waterboarding. A guy gets dipped underwater, or with a piece of tissue on his head, and when he comes out of the water he's gasping for air, and he's going like, he never gets enough oxygen in his organism to nourish the blood with, so he's being tortured in every cell of his body. And it is a human fact, it is a medical fact, well, when a human being breathes in, it's 80% of the oxygen that goes to the head first. So if there's not enough oxygen, you get serious problems in the head first. You know, that's where the inflammation is. So this is why O2T is so nice. The CIA and the MI6 and all the lot, they think it's so nice. And this is why the geezers in Guantanamo in the orange suits, they all have this mask on their noses. And we all ask ourselves, why do they have these masks? What for? Are they working on something, you know? No. Well, like this, they're being tortured in front of the cameras. They can never get enough oxygen to nourish the blood with. And this is happening here as well, and this is how people are being tortured.
It's like there's chemtrails in Switzerland too.
In Guantanamo and by the Yanks. And, well, of course, Switzerland and America, well, these two countries have very much in common that they are completely ruled by the pharaohs. Oh, really completely. And this is how they work together. Switzerland has the money, the banks, it's safe, and we are also neutral, they say. And the Americans, they kill people all over. They have the armies. Yeah. But the rich Americans, they all put their money in Switzerland. I bet you do. I bet they do. Well, rich people never paid any taxes, you know. I look at...
This is the Pharaoh show that I was watching here, and when he started describing the torture techniques, you know, it's hard to tell people what chemtrails, why they're doing it. There's so many things that seem unrelated that can, or over a course of time, will definitely happen as a result of the chemtrail attack, I guess you'd call it. It's an act of war. It's being waged on us right in our faces, and gee whiz, we're so smart, we're sending our kids to the desert on the other side of the world to murder people and ship heroin back here so that we can put our other kids that are here in prison for getting caught with that heroin, because they're doing it because their life is so fucking depressing, and they look out in the world in the United States and they know goddamn good and well there ain't no future. So it's a win-win. Yay for America. Buy heroin, support the troops. Or should I say, oh, the economy of the future is in nursing homes and prison guards. Get your kids some prison guard training while they're in middle school.